This is probably the most passive-aggressive piece of paper that I have seen on the internet. It's like the community managed to rip it from the dead hands of the people at the Grand Wizards of the Coast and their masas at Hasbro. So, quick recap. Grand Wizards of the Coast, as well as Hasbro, have this open game license which allows people to pretty much create their own homebrew campaigns or to use the Dungeons and Dragons system in creating completely new games, like Pathfinder. And this has helped the tabletop industry massively because there's a lot more people interested in this. If you're a person that likes Pathfinder, you may eventually even purchase some Dungeons and Dragons merch. So indirectly, it helped the Wizards of the Coast. However, they're getting very greedy, and they released a new open game license which said that anyone that uses the rule set from Dungeons and Dragons in any way are going to have to pay an extra 25% tax. That if you happen to create a modified homebrew campaign of D&D, they own it. It made online playing of D&D impossible under the new open game license. So for example, if I got some friends and I had a homebrew campaign and I wanted to live stream it, I could get in legal trouble with the Grand Wizards of the Coast. So all of these things combined have pissed off the community, and they demanded that the Grand Wizards change the open game license version 1.1. So finally they gave a very passive-aggressive response. Of course, they hid behind the skirt of woke ideology, like literally in the first paragraph here. When we initially conceived revisiting the open game license, it was with three major goals in mind. We wanted the ability to prevent the use of Dungeons and Dragons content for being included in hateful and discriminatory products. Oh my fucking god. So it wasn't because you were greedy. It wasn't because you wanted to make money. It's not that 25% tax. No, of course, it's because you care about racism in America. It's because minorities in the United States need to thank Hasbro personally for their safety and protection. Right? Like if you happen to be a minority right now in the US, just write a thank you email for Hasbro because they are so considerate and they care so much about you. They're not going to give you their products for free, by the way, but no, like this entertainment company is the new Martin Luther King of our time. They're probably going to be in the annals of history. How was history in America fixed for racism? Hasbro did it with Wizards of the Coast. By the way, I really like this argument that comes from a lot of progressive companies, like most of the draconic shit that they do. Oh, it's because we're a progressive company. We wouldn't want to do it. We just have to do it. Like, imagine if a car company, for example, would put microphones in your car. Like, literally, and you couldn't turn them off. And everything that you speak in your car, the company could listen in. And they would say, look, we don't want to do it, but we're fighting racism. It's like, look, we do not want to sell cars to bigots. Right? And if you speak racismus, the car just shuts down. Or even better, we don't want to sell cars to criminals. So if you happen to talk about committing a crime in your car, even as a joke, oh, we're just going to turn off the engine. And you can't drive the car anymore. Because it's a violation of TOS, right? This is literally what they're doing. And if people are upset about why are you putting microphones in my car? What the fuck are you doing? Like, you're a car company. Why is this your job to monitor my speech? Why is it your job to monitor my activities? Then they would say, oh, so you're for racism and bigotry. You're for crime, aren't you? Because you don't want us to stop crime. So you're actually in cahoots with the criminals. So disgusting, man. Like, I am starting to really dislike this American culture day by day. I thought I can't dislike it more, but now that I see some of the greediest corporations in existence, first of all, fart sniffing, like, you're an entertainment company, okay? It's not your job to end racism. Shut the fuck up. You can't even prove that because some people make homebrew campaigns in hateful and discriminatory products, whatever the fuck that means, because I haven't seen it. But let's assume like this is an actual industry. Like, there are many people that actually do these hateful and discriminatory products using the open game license. Okay? Do they translate in the real world? Like, wouldn't I want bigots and hateful individuals to actually sit at home in their basement and play Dungeons and Dragons rather than go out in the world and do some real shit? Like, use your fucking mind for a little bit, right? Like, but no, apparently not. Apparently, I guess the actual bigots shouldn't get bread and circus so that they go out and actually do their bigotry, according to Hasbro. Their fucking logic. So, secondly, they don't want NFTs online, right? So they're supporting live streams and whatever, but it's like, look, I don't care what you want. When you write a legal piece of paper, it's going to be interpreted in the most uncharitable way possible because people don't want to get sued. So, for example, if I have... imagine this situation, right? Like, imagine a couple of YouTubers playing, I don't know, Nazi vampires in the Soviet Union using Dungeons and Dragons, right? So they're into Operation Barbarossa. It's a hilarious campaign, right? You're playing Nazi vampire, like LOL, right? This used to be a trope back in the day. And you're playing the bad guys. Because it's fun to play the bad guys, right? Like, for example, in Wrath of the Lich King, you play as the fucking Lich King. Like, there are many games where you play the villain. Because it's immersion, it's fantasy, it's not real. Right? Like, I know most people understand, but you also have children and the woke, which don't. So you have to explain to them like they're in kindergarten. So fantasy, fiction, right? Like even when you play Dungeons and Dragons and you use a sword in order to kill a criminal, right? That's bad. But it's fiction, so it's okay. Fucking hell, I don't know. Alright, so you're playing this on a live stream. Do you keep doing it or not? Well, if you get popular, you can have the open game license say, well, you know, it's a hateful and discriminatory way you're using it. It's like, why? Because you're playing Nazis. Yeah, but they're vampires. Like, we're evil. No, you're not allowed because the illuminated minds at Grand Wizards of the Coast are thinking you're causing harm to America if you keep doing it. Okay, so, like, one thing is, like, don't do it because you just don't know, like, what aspect of your campaign can upset them. And secondly, they can actually sue your ass. They can say, well, yeah, but you're making a live stream, you're monetizing it. So they want money, or they sue you. And this is why, you know, like, most people were concerned with good reason. And they're like, oh, no, we just wanted to stop people using blockchains and NFT. Fuck off. And finally, they want only the little guy to benefit from the open game license. They don't want the company to benefit. And it's like, what does that even mean, right? Like if you have a little guy, which, for example, makes a mod for Warcraft 3, and that mod is Dota, and it becomes incredibly popular, right? He becomes a big guy. You're saying that, when do you judge when someone who made something incredibly popular can't live off of it? Like, if you give people the opportunity to use your work in homebrew campaigns, then give them the opportunity. If not, don't do it. But don't say, okay, so we're giving you the opportunity. Oh, well, this guy has grown a little bit too big. Let's take him down. Because that guy who grew a little bit too big, right, could have used another system that wasn't made by twats, like the Wizards of the Coast, and then he could have made money out of it. Like, there are other systems you can use which are free and will remain free. This is what people don't like the changing of the deal. Like you use the honeypot in order to attract the flies, so that you use the sticky paper and making sure that they don't leave. But the more interesting thing is this, right? Because they're basically saying that they're dialing back, they're not going to do it. First, we won't be able to release the new open game license today because we need to make sure that we get it right, but it's coming. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won and so did we. I have not seen something so passive-aggressive coming from a company. My fucking god, you know, I actually wanted to try this new Dungeons and Dragons that they're doing. And I just was curious to see because it's online. And I wanted to see how it's like. I'm not touching this shit anymore. Even like if someone gifts it to me, I swear to God, I will give it back or I will sell it to an orphan. I will do something else with it. But like I'm definitely do not want to touch this game from this company. Very rarely do I say this on my chat. You guys know. Like, you guys know that I would go and say, I went and saw Avatar. I'm going to buy Hogwarts. Like, you know, like, I do these things because I understand that most of the entertainment that comes from the West is done by people that I consider highly problematic. However, you know, I have to put up with it because there's nothing else. But every now and then, a company pisses me off so fucking much that I genuinely despise their product. I would not buy this. I would not accept this as a gift under any circumstance. The last time this happened was with Battlefield. I actually have like 2 people gifting me Battlefield and I had to refund their gift. Right? So if you have any great ideas about giving me something about dungeons, don't. Do not. I know my avatar is a troll. I know you're. Oh, let's give it. No, no. I do not want to play with you. I do not want to log in this game. I do not want to know this game exists. The people who are in charge, I do not like them. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.